Welcome to Catholic Views. I'm your host, Renae Kranz. On today's show, we are welcoming Matt Althoff, the Chancellor for the Diocese, back on the show to talk a bit more about Set Ablaze, our planning initiative for the diocese. He's going to give us a little bit more detail. It's always fun having Matt here because you have to keep him from talking above all of us, which is sometimes tricky, but he did a really good job, and it's super helpful. So I hope you'll join us for that. First, we have Dr. Chris Bergwald. Biblical Bites with Dr.
You can't just, that's just not.
Biblical Bites with Dr. B.
I want to say thank
Right.
you. You can't do that, Renae.
I know. Sorry.
You know what week it is, Renae?
Oh, boy. Okay, we're getting close to Thanksgiving-ish. So, 28.
31.
31. Oh, that's right. There's 34. I was thinking 32. There's 34.
No, there's 34. Yeah, given what you're thinking, that was a good guess.
Yes.
So we're the Gospels from Luke. We're almost done with Luke because year C is coming to a close here. With Advent, we'll start year A, whose Gospel is
Matthew?
Well
Okay,
done.
good.
This is where I gotta
Yeah, we need a ding, ding, ding,
ding, ding, ding, ding, ding, ding with the producer over there.
We'll get there.
In the future, we'll get there. So Luke chapter 19, verses 1 through 10 is the gospel narrative that we hear at Mass this Sunday. It's about the story of Zacchaeus.
Oh, yeah.
What do you remember? What do you remember, if anything?
He
Renae,
he the leper that? Well, he had leprosy, but he was a leader of an army. Am I thinking of the right person?
No.
Okay.
You're thinking of Naaman, the Syrian
That was
from
not even close.
the Old Testament. But that's okay.
I apologize.
No, you're fine. So this is how the reading starts this Sunday. At that time, Jesus came to Jericho and intended to pass through the town. Now a man there named Zacchaeus, who was a chief tax collector and also a wealthy man, was seeking to see who Jesus was, but he could not see him because of the crowd, for he was short in stature.
I know that feeling.
You can relate.
I can relate.
So what did he do? Do you remember what he did?
He climbed a tree, I believe.
So he ran ahead and climbed a sycamore tree in order to see Jesus, who is about to pass that way. So there's something else that I want to say, if time permitting, but just to start. So Jericho, we read the Old Testament. The Israelites marched around it 7 times. Or 7 days it falls. Jericho is. If Jerusalem is here in the Holy Land,
this is great for radio.
Jericho, I know. That's why I have to watch it on YouTube.
That's right.
Jericho is northeast of Jerusalem, like 17-ish miles, closer to the Jordan River. Okay. Because when the Israelites, 14-ish, 100 years before this, they actually marched across the Jordan into the Holy Land from the east. They come up from anyway. So Jericho is a major, a larger city in the area. It's not Jerusalem, but it's a larger city in the area, and it's near the border with Perea, which is also controlled by the Romans across the Jordan River. And there's a major trade route that runs east-west through this. So there's a lot of tolls, a lot of surcharges that are applied.
Taxes.
So taxes collected. And Zacchaeus might be a regional tax collector.
Okay.
So he's not just the local guy. He might be the regional guy who might oversee other tax collectors. And we're told, so he's a tax collector. That's bad news because he's conniving with the Romans against his own people. He's lining his own pockets. And we also know that he's wealthy. So the interesting thing, Renae, is just earlier, I think in the last chapter in Luke's Gospel, chapter 18, we had heard about the rich young man who came to Jesus. And he wants to follow Jesus, but he is not willing to let go of his possessions.
Right.
Which is worth remembering for something we get to a little bit later with Zacchaeus. So that had just happened. There was also tax collectors. We just heard, though, they could be saved. So there's sort of a strange thing going on here. But what Zacchaeus does is he climbs the sycamore tree in order to see Jesus. And yet, further on, we read the very last thing that we read in we hear the gospel is for Jesus speaking. For the Son of Man has come to seek and to save what was lost.
Right.
So he reached he climbed the tree. When he reached the place, Jesus looked up and said, Zacchaeus, come down quickly, for today I must stay at your house. None of this happened by accident.
Right.
Zacchaeus, oh, Jesus, I want to see Jesus. I'm going to run ahead. I'm going to climb the tree. And Jesus comes by and he looks at, they've never met before.
Right.
And Jesus says to him, Zacchaeus, come down quickly, for tonight I'm going to stay at your house. They've never met, but Jesus speaks to him by name and calls him by name. And Zacchaeus responds quickly. By the way, one quick thing. Well, another time. That's it, Renae.
Thanks, Dr. B.
You bet.